And we are live.
Are we live, Carl?
Yeah, we are.
Are we live?
Definitely.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Alright, cool.
Live.
Carl, what's today's date?
Today is the 13th of December.
Oh, that's right. Of course, it's the 13th of December because you guys are here, right? For another episode of Dead Air. Is that
You sound way too excited.
I know, which is weird because I'm not the one with alcohol in front of me. You are.
Yeah, okay, wait. 1 second. Yeah, so, for Tiger, if you're watching, there's 2 Tiger fans. One off camera, one on camera.
He, to everybody in the audience right now, he literally waited for us to go live before he opened his can. So
Exactly.
Once again, welcome to Dead Air. We always forget to do this properly, but hi, my name is Wayne. I am the co-creator and the writer for Ghost Maps, and this handsome tiger drinking gentleman next to me is...
I'm Kyle. I'm the executive producer for Ghost Maps.
And co-creator.
And co-creator.
Kyle.
Of course. Right.
Somebody's so focused on this tiger beer. To everybody out there, you're joining us on a very special episode of...
Oh shit.
What were you just playing?
No. I'm trying to upload an Instagram story.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's Kyle. Doing it for the tiger beer and doing it for the grams.
Yep.
You joined us on a very special episode of Dead Air. It is our last episode, not just for 2021, but especially for those of you who regularly tune into Ghost Maps and who can't wait to listen to every episode, so you always listen to it the moment it goes live. You guys will notice this is also going to be our last episode until March. Carl?
Yeah, March 2020.
Okay. You can tell who's the one who's better with schedules between the two of us. This will be our last episode until March 2022.
Yep.
So, in advance, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Chinese New Year was when?
And 恭喜发财.
Gong Xi Fa Chai, okay. Did we miss anything else? Happy Valentine's Day as well.
Yep.
To all the lovers out there. Dead Air is for lovers. But yes, we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the episode. First, we want to introduce you to our very special guest.
Yes, they share the same first name.
Last name.
First name as Ghost Maps. What are you talking about? Ghostlore.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you were talking about the actual names. I was
No, we're not going to review that much about them.
Okay.
As you could tell, one similarity between the two of our guests and the narrator is that you cannot find out their identity, right? There's a secret. Yeah.
You can't see their faces, but okay. Today we have the creators of the upcoming action RPG Ghostlore. Unless you guys are okay with us mentioning your names, if not, you probably will be able to find the names on Steam, but still.
It's just a 5-minute Google, right?
It is a 5-minute Google. It's probably less than 5-minute Google.
Yeah.
But we are very excited to have the guys, the co-creators of Ghostlore with us today. Because even though it's an upcoming game, Carl and I have been seeing quite a bit of excitement for this game. We even mentioned Ghostlore in the very first episode of Unearthed.
Yep.
Which came out when? When did Unearthed come out?
Spooktober. I'm not drunk.
It's literally his first can of Tiger beer.
Second.
What?
Spooktober. Yeah,
Why did
Spooktober.
you sneak in one can?
Spooktober. We
Yes.
released a new episode on Spooktober, yeah.
Yes, we released an episode of Unearthed in October, and while we were doing research for Unearthed, which was our episode that explored the cultural origins, the cultural history, and just overall the mythology around our beloved Miss P. While we're doing research for that, we were looking at how Miss P has spread across all different media.
Yes.
And one of the names that kept popping up were these guys, Ghostlore. This fantastic looking action RPG that features Miss P along with many other supernatural creatures and spirits from across Southeast Asia. So guys, without revealing your identities, please say hi to the audience.
Okay, hi. I think, hey, you don't mind if we say our names, right? Okay, yeah, so for us, right, yeah, we are the creators of Ghostlore, and my name is Andrew Teo, and the person who works with me is Adam Teo lah, and both our last names are Teo, and our initials are the same, but we are kind of not We're not related lah. It's just a coincidence. We met each other through Reddit basically.
Reddit is the best, man.
Spooky coincidence.
I have to say, spooky coincidence, but also that sounds like fate lah. Like
Okay.
same initials for like first name and last name, same last name,
Yeah.
same age as well, right?
Same age also.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, how come we don't have such a romantic?
We
origin story?
do. Win and I share almost the same birthday, but obviously we were born in very different times, right?
Yeah.
I'm the older one, obviously, right?
Is that my Christmas present?
Yes.
So thank you guys for joining us today.
thanks
It's
so much.
absolutely wonderful to have you guys on here.
Thank you for having us.
No,
Yeah.
it's our pleasure. We were just talking before the show started that I was mentioning that I haven't seriously played video games since probably when Sega Mega Drive was a thing. Even though Kyle's older than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot, I'm completely ruined the whole you're supposed to be older than me thing. But yeah, even though Kyle's older than me, wink, wink. I haven't played a video game since Sega Mega Drive. But when I was researching Ghostlore, just absolutely excited for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, just wink, wink. 2022 will be exciting for Ghostlore and Ghost Maps as well. We will be embarking on our first gameplay video. Maybe the first of many of us playing horror game. I say us lah, but it's basically me playing horror game and him just talking. Yeah. So if there's something that you guys like, just push the thumbs. Right?
It'll be you playing the game and me just going, what does that button do?
Exactly. Yeah. Push the thumbs up. Right?
We'll get to Ghostlore in a bit, but we also want to mention that Ghost Maps 50th episode.
Yes.
50th episode just came out last week,
God.
was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long, long time.
Yeah, 50th episode after two years of us doing this.
2 years of us doing this.
So I know we've said it 1,000,001 times, but we'll keep saying it. Thank you everybody for your support. Thank you for making it possible for us.
Thank you to all the guests and all the previous guests that come on there, including the guys from Ghostlore. Really, really appreciate and the listeners and everyone for this milestone. We're sad to say that we're going on a season break, but we really need to recharge.
Yes.
After 2 years of non-stop uploads, non-stop live streams, I think it's good for us to take a break and then come back in March 2022. So yeah, just enjoy this episode, yeah.
Yes.
And that's why we end on a really high note, right? We brought Ghostlore for you guys.
Yes.
So quick jump into the comments. Avnish says hello and congratulations on 2K subscribers. Oh yeah, thank you. YouTube is we love YouTube, but we feel like we need to flex a little bit on our Spotify. Spotify, we hit 1 million downloads this year, which is awesome. Hopefully we'll hit somewhat near these numbers for YouTube in the near future.
I'm sure everybody noticed that when he said 2K subscribers, I was like, ooh, really? So it goes to show who's also handling the technical side of things.
Just random guy also said congrats for 2K. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, so
All right, so
moving on.
jumping into the Ghostlore. Guys, first question. But before I get into that, I'm just going to read out the description for Ghostlore from the Steam page.
Nice.
So Ghostlore, did you say nice to me reading it out or nice to the Tiger Beer?
Nice to the title.
Okay, yes. Ghostlore is an East Punk action RPG. First of all, I want to say East Punk description. Love it. Ghostlore is an East Punk action RPG where you fight monsters from Southeast Asian folklore. This modern take on the classic ARPG features a detailed item and character customization system, procedurally generated maps, and beautiful 2D isometric art. So in the words of our Ghost Maps narrator, let's start from the beginning. Why did you guys want to create an action RPG with Southeast Asian creatures and spirits? And you've already said that you all met on Reddit, but why did you guys choose to work with each other on this?
Okay, so first of all, I can take the first one, the first question, right?
Go for it.
And Adam, why you want to work with me? Maybe you can answer that one. Okay, all right. So
That makes sense.
So for me, right? Okay, it's kind of a bit of a long story. I hope it's not. not too long or whatever. But
don't worry about it.
okay, so let me try and recount, because back in, I think about 20, I think it was maybe 2018 or 2017. I became 30 years old. And then and what happened was that I had always had this. I guess you can say I always had this dream, ever since I was a kid, of creating a Diablo style game. For those of you who are not familiar, it's basically like an isometric game where you can you can run around and you just kill monsters and stuff like that. So that was the sort of game that I wanted to create. But and back during that time, that was just what it was. So I work in a game studio.
Yeah.
I studied in art school. I studied to do video game art. And what happened was that the whole reason why I did it was because I kind of wanted to fulfill this, so I guess you can say, this childhood dream that I have, right? And what happened was that, so I started. One thing is that in my free time, what I started doing was to try to learn how to make a game on my own. I mean, I work in a video game studio, but when I'm in the studio, I'm kind of like a small part of something bigger, right?
Yeah.
So I think around that time, there were a number of these indie games that were getting quite famous, that was done by just one person.
Right.
I don't know if you heard of them or not, but things like Undertale and Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Stardew Valley is amazing.
I'm so excited because I actually know Undertale.
Yeah. These games that were just created by just one person, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I thought, maybe I should try to learn how to do that in my own free time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did that, and so it was just kind of like exploratory stuff. Back then, the idea of Ghostlore didn't even come out yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so what happened to me was I during break time, I went to work and asked some of my colleagues, hey, do you want to play this prototype of an action RPG that I came up with, and from there I got quite a lot of feedback, okay. So the first one was that, yeah, it's okay, but why should I play this when I can already play Diablo? That was the first question that was the first hard question for me when I made my game. Okay, yeah. And the second thing was, one thing that I maybe should mention was that at that point, even though it wasn't called Ghostlore, right, the pontianak as a monster was actually in already.
Right.
Okay, so it was actually in already, and the original idea, I think, was like it was kind of going to be just some fantasy world, but there was already at that point going to be some small little area like that's based off a kampong, and the monsters that you fight are like pontianaks and stuff like that. So even at that point, it was already kind of there already.
Right.
But the thing is that for the players, that was kind of like the most interesting thing for them, you see, and it was kind of like the idea where you actually have to you have to actually, okay, because in the game you actually have to attack the tree to fight to actually kill
Miss P
yeah, because that's how it is in the source material, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they thought that was quite interesting. So the suggestion came to me very strongly from a couple of people. Is like, I think you should focus a bit on the sort of like Asian horror or the Southeast Asian folklore kind of angle So I think it was kind of like at the point where the idea of creating Ghostlore kind of clicked and
Right.
and when I was searching for a name, I found this word called Ghostlore, and that was just how it happened, and that was already kind of like in 2019 so I had been doing all this learning and exploratory stuff for like a couple of years. I think maybe 1 year beforehand, and then I spent 2019 to kind of just research, create all the different monsters, and for me I asked a friend about who kind of has an interest in this kind of thing, and he's I would say that I think, okay, maybe not but my impression of him is that he sort of I mean, he does somewhat believe in it lah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he actually does or not. Maybe not, but I mean that's just my impression lah. You know, so I enlisted him to kind of like just, hey, give me, a lot of these, tell me, all these monsters lah, and so from there I just created it lah. And yeah, I think that's about the story.
Sorry, I'm grinning because like everything you're saying, we have the questions all lined up and everything. I'm just getting really excited. I want to jump through those questions, but orderly.
Sorry.
Yes.
Then the second part is, I met Adam through the internet, right? And
Yes.
And Adam, yeah.
I feel like I'm the exact opposite of that, right? Because I'm the programmer for Ghostlore, so
Yeah.
I guess your stereotypical idea of a programmer is like it's like about numbers, very technical oriented, and to a certain extent it's true lah. I mean, like half of why I was interested in Ghostlore was because I'm a big fan of like action RPG games, but the other half as well is like I saw a lot of potential. So like you see like your money, like is the money flash before my eyes. Like this is definitely a lot of potential. Why hasn't anyone done this before, right? So yeah. So to be honest, like half of it is just this is definitely gonna make a lot of money and
maybe yeah.
So I want in on this.
I didn't go in thinking that way.
Yeah, he definitely did not think about this at all. Right? So,
I did not go in.
So you can see the dynamics right here, right?
Yeah, it's like So yeah, on the creative side, he's the programming side. So yeah.
It feels good to have a change, right, from your day job. It feels good to have a different perspective, right?
I mean, in my day job, I'm also doing the art side of things also.
Right.
Yeah.
But are you doing that in your day job?
Yeah. So I do this full time. I'm an indie game developer.
Yeah, but you guys normally work on like it's not when at your own companies you're not working on like your own creations. Right? It's other.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of like that's why I do this also because it's kind of like an outlet for me because
like
once you're because once you're at a company, it's kind of like you gotta take orders, alright. So yeah,
for sure.
Not for me. I do it my own thing.
That's
why there's no money.
That's why.
That's why money.
It's one of the, but it's exactly it when you said like I can't believe nobody has made this in the world. Like that was literally how Carl and I felt when we found out about Ghostlore. We're like, I cannot believe that nobody has made a video game of this scale with these many creatures. And we'll get to the creatures in a bit because I really am.
So let me pitch to the Ghostmats fans, right, about Ghostlore, right? The cow pitch. So you like Southeast Asian horror, you like Southeast Asian entities. Imagine beating them up in a safe space, in 2D sprite, in old school, almost Diablo 2 like style, but set in Singapore. There you go. That's the pitch right there. And we'll play it for you in 2022.
He's not kidding, by the way. This is literally how excited he was when we found out about it. He's like, what? Wait, so I can beat them up? Then he was like, wait. So for Miss P, then how like you punch her as well? Then he found out about the fact that with the Miss P character, you don't like naturally attack her, you attack the tree.
Yeah.
He lost his mind. I lost my mind, quite frankly.
Deforestation can happen.
Unintended side effect of the game, lah.
Exactly.
But okay, so tell me a little bit more, aside from the Kyle pitch, tell me a little bit more about Ghostlore, the game itself. Like, what's the story behind it? What the objectives are, and like, what's the tone like? Because it looks very lighthearted, but that's purely based on the fact that it's 2D isometric stuff. And that's just me like assuming things. But like, tell us a bit more about the game.
I think the tone of the game is like, I would say that it's definitely a little. It's not a serious horror game. Okay, it's definitely I mean there's some very very Scooby Doo kind of stuff going on, like I mean as far as the tone goes, like so sorry, I lost track. What was?
Oh no, it's okay. So like you got the tone, but like what's the story and the objectives behind it?
Okay, the story. Okay, so if I were to try to tease the story, right?
Yes.
Okay, is this okay? It's kind of like almost like a reinterpretation of the Bukit Merah story of the little kid.
Oh,
okay. Who the story of the swordfish, right? And the kid and the king, right? Who killed the kid because the kid showed him up, right? Yeah, so you can think of the story as, okay, I'm saying this for the first time in public, I think. Okay, you can think of the story as a reinterpretation of that. In fact, right, if you were to actually play the game now, and you pay attention to the dialogue, I'm saying this because it's an action game and usually the dialogue is quite optional, lah.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you do pay attention to it, right, and you keep the Red Hill story in mind, right, you can more or less figure out what's going to happen next, really.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know lah, right? For Singaporean,
Like, okay, so you had me at the monsters and everything, but then now you start reinterpreting myths and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm extra more excited. Okay, so going from that, let's delve a little bit into your own personal history. So, what are your favorite horror or supernatural themed games?
Okay, so one thing that I think will probably a lot of surprise a lot of people is that even though I work in games, right, the truth of the matter is I don't really play them very much because simply because I don't have any time. Because I work like your typical like 9-hour work week, right?
Yeah.
And then after that I come home and then I just make Ghostlore, right? And then I do that for another 4 hours and then I go to sleep, right? And the weekend I'm just working on it also, right? So I just don't, my knowledge of like the gaming landscape nowadays is just super outdated. Okay, so I would say that I just hang around for the classics, like Silent Hill.
Oh yeah.
That's one. I think it's for horror it's pretty much just Silent Hill.
Silent Hill is really good.
For if you're talking about like say stuff that not a game lah, not really a game, but stuff on the web that you read. I'm also a huge fan of the SCP Foundation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that one. And the SCP Foundation actually is kind of like something that is this amazing collaborative fiction project lah. And it's just basically a lot of people coming together to create this open source, almost like this horror mythos lah. And it's not just writing, because there are also people have also made fan games of the SCP games also. Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, Adam.
I can second the SCP thing. I really like that as well. But otherwise, I'm kind of a scaredy cat, so I don't really play horror games.
No. Money, man.
No, but I mean, okay, to be fair, like I completely get that as well. Because between the two of us, he's the bigger horror fan. So, traditionally he's the bigger horror fan. I only gotten into horror more or less, I think probably before we started creating Ghost Map. So I completely understand that as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Which is surprising, right? For Ghost Maps fans, you heard it here first.
Yeah, it's not
Wayne the writer.
This is definitely not the first time.
No,
sure.
but like you've like really described it. Wayne is not really like a horror fan. Only after like Ghost Maps, right? Then he really dived into it. As for me, I think the most like scary game that I really went, which is quite weak lah, is Fatal Frame. Anything beyond that, I think is I don't mind trying, but I'm quite scared. Yeah, I think even for Resident Evil Village, the latest one, it was certain parts was quite scary. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's not easy. It's really not easy. I cannot imagine you sitting in like in the dark room, then with like a big screen and just playing the game on headphones. That's why I need you, man. We do it for the screen, and then you sit beside me, and I play. At least I won't get so scared lah.
That's definitely a reversal of roles, that's for sure.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
I'm like I mentioned to you guys before we started also, like I haven't played games. Well, I mentioned on air, so I haven't played games since like Sega Mega Drive. So like the scariest game I've probably played is like Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Leave a thumbs up, right? If you want to see Wayne play Resident Evil Village, I'll make that happen.
Leave a thumbs up. You want to see Wayne die while playing Resident Evil Village.
Exactly. So let's address some comments.
Oh yeah.
WSA said, "Wow, our first ghost guest heard but unseen. Not first and not guest, is guest." Wait,
hang
two
on.
of them.
That's technically
and
true.
No,
because they're the first aren't they the first guest with ghost in their name?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you put it that way, yeah. You see, Wayne understands you.
Yeah. Congratulations, guys! You are first on the show.
Hi, Benny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
we
thanks for
wanted to
joining
catch
us
live.
Yeah. And Jolene is like giving thumbs up. I presume to both of the ghost guys, Ghostlore and Ghost Maps. Thank you very much.
I like how Avnesh is still keeping count on our subscriber thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I'm assuming this is because everybody wants to see me in a cemetery.
exactly 10,000, and you will see Wayne and I do a live stream of Dead Air
Oh.
in a cemetery.
Okay.
Like, I'll make it happen. All right, moving on.
Yes, moving on. Okay, so yes. Okay, this is the question I've been looking forward to getting to. I had to get through the first 3 questions. Okay, so according to your Steam page, Ghostlore features over 40 creatures and spirits. Okay, so we got, for example, and I'm going to mispronounce the first one for sure. Jiangse.
Yeah.
I mispronounced it, didn't I?
Not really.
Kyle, how do you pronounce it?
Okay, it's not fair. Like I know Chinese. So 僵尸.
You think that after doing this for like 2 years with you, I would have at least
You
picked
try
up
僵尸.
僵尸.
You see, that's not hard, right?
I'm gonna.
It's pretty on point.
You do realize that if I repeated this in about 2 minutes, right, I'm gonna mispronounce it again.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyway, 僵尸, pocong, penanggal, rakshasa, and of course Miss P.
No, you gotta say the full name.
Fine. And of course the pontianak.
Exactly.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you guys is, did you think when y'all were creating the game, because you were saying, Andrew, that you when you first started it, it was just one section of a bigger game,
Yes.
and then you expanded it out.
Yes.
But that little kampong stage was there already. So did you think about like the gameplay first, and then you worked in the creatures around the gameplay, or was it the other way around? Did you pick your creatures and then like you work the gameplay around the creatures instead?
Okay, so this is interesting because the creatures that I did pick are the ones that I felt that they had some kind of special characteristic or special ability
Yeah.
that will make them stand out. That I feel will make it kind of fun for the player to encounter right?
Yes.
So the thing is that's how it goes for some of them. But for some of them, like say for example, oh my god, I need a creature that shoots fireballs. There isn't anything that shoots fireballs to my knowledge in Southeast Asian folklore. So that's when all the slightly more made up monsters come in.
Right.
Yeah. Like oh my god, I need a plant monster. But there is a plant monster. I mean the HANTU thingy could count, right? I mean it's a tree kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think at that point I didn't know if I'll include him in yet lah. Yeah, but so there are some of those monsters that are made up, but they still kind of have a bit of a Southeast Asian flavor to them lah.
Yeah.
Like for example, there are a bunch of monsters that are based off the house lizards, like the
Man.
because it's always quite scary, right? Because like if you do not know what they are, then you suddenly hear a sound out of nowhere, then if you don't know what it is, it's pretty scary lah, I feel.
Yeah.
And there's also some that's inspired by like stories my dad used to tell me about how he would, last time when I was a kid, he would raise those like spiders to go fight. They were fighting spiders in Matchbox, and back in their day it was kind of like their version of Pokemon or Digimon or whatever. Yeah,
I
so
love the way you describe that.
I have so I got that in my game as well. Yeah,
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about this before, where you were saying that some of them are later inclusions as well. So I just get idea, like what were the first couple of monsters that you had in the game?
Okay, Pontianak was the first one because it was the most popular.
Yeah.
I think even if you are Singaporean or Malaysian or Indonesian, right? I think even if you don't really follow like horror stuff and things like that, I think you will know that one.
Synonymous that one.
Yeah.
That's like our Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there are others that are a bit less well known. I think one thing I want to bring up is the Hungry Ghost, right? We got the Hungry Ghost Festival, right? And so the interesting thing is, do you know why the Hungry Ghost is hungry?
Because you never burn offerings and give them food, right? Yeah.
It's hungry because, right? Okay, so this is something that I researched. Okay, so the hunger is hungry is because according to the mythology and the folklore, right, in life, right, these are people who have been very greedy, and and so what happens is that, the reason why they're perpetually hungry is because anything they try and eat, right, it just spontaneously combusts in their mind.
Oh, yeah. It's okay.
Yes.
So that mythology. I mean, just to
Yes.
clarify, right?
Yes.
There's two kinds.
Yeah.
One, the ones that appear during the Hungry Ghost month, right?
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
Those are like hungry ghosts in general.
Mhm.
Then there's one that's been condemned to the 18
Yes,
18 levels
yes,
of hell,
yes.
where you're in continuous.
Yes,
because
you are
of
in
their
continuous suffering
hunger,
because right.
It's basically like the seven
Right.
sins are like
Yes,
lust, greed.
yes,
and,
that is
yeah.
right. So I get that one, and okay, I think it'd be nice to have a fire-breathing monster in the game.
Nice.
So that's what it is like. That's how it is usually lah. Right? Yeah. The other one is actually the the orang minyak, right?
Oh yeah.
So
oily ghosts.
Okay, so I didn't want to include that one at first actually.
Why?
Because I felt that even for this game it was a bit too disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Even for the game it was a bit too disturbing. But when I mentioned, I think I did mention that I sort of publicized the game a bit by posting on Reddit lah.
Yeah.
And it was one of the more popularly requested ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I started thinking, and actually the whole idea that his whole body is coated in oil, right? It's kind of that's very very interesting, isn't it? Right. So like it's coated in oil, and you can't really, because of that, you can't really catch it, or you can't
can't
really
hit it.
hit it or anything. So that would be quite an interesting situation for the player to try, and the player will have to try and work around that lah, right? To try and figure out how to get past that lah. And so that's kind of like the sort of thing I'm looking for lah. Like it's not just about you just name drop the monster and that's it lah. It's like you actually have to kind of just you have, when you research, that they have certain patterns of behavior and things like that,
Yeah.
and try and work that and try and make it sort of like a game or a challenge for the player lah. Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before, so before we even went on air, but I think that's one of the reasons why I actually like just really the concept of Ghostlore, because it balances out the ghost side of things with the lore side of things.
Yeah.
So it's not just like you said, like it's not just like, oh, we threw in pontianak because people like pontianak, but you've thought about like, oh, if you wanna kill her, you don't just attack her, you have to attack the tree and everything.
Like, I'm presuming, I have not played the game yet, but to kill the orang minyak, you need to use fire, as per the law,
Not really. No.
or a net or something.
A net, really?
Yeah.
Wait, hey Adam, can you go and make them, like, can you give them a weakness to fire when you
Also, Adam, I just want to say that when Andrew was saying, like, oh yeah, that's why the ghosts are always hungry, because they were greedy in life. Maybe you should have been yelling out, money, money, money.
Like, how about like just
Actually,
feed
there's
them.
a-
You just throw like food on the
There
ground.
is one.
there's a money ghost, right? Remember?
Obviously, because
Yeah.
You guys know about the Barbie Nepet? That one is a bit more obscure. I
What was
think.
it called? The
Okay, I don't know if that's the pronunciation. It's kind of like I think it was an Indonesian one. The
It's a
Barbie Nepet. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so basically I was reading kind of like what it is actually, is that is these actually it's not really a ghost. It's actually a human who has done black magic. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This, and what happens is that this human is trying to, this person, really just wants money and wants to make himself rich. Okay. So basically he makes some sort of like almost like a deal with the devil sort of thing.
Right.
And what happens is that he turns into like a boar demon or something. And he's got this ability, to basically just sort of like he can go up against things, he can knock them and something like that, and all the valuables just come out and you just take them, right? So that's one of the stories,
Okay.
Yeah. So I have that in the game, and again the behavior actually,
Yeah.
because it can actually knock money out of you. It can actually knock money out of the player. It can steal your money.
I-
Okay.
That's because like that. I don't know why, but that for some reason that particular thing just reminds me of those old like video games where like the maybe I'm just thinking of Sonic the Hedgehog because that's the
Oh,
only game
because the rings drop, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Totally get that you will say that.
Yeah. And actually, that's not the only inspiration as well, because I felt that it was particularly apt to have this one inside, because I was reading during the whole lockdown period, right, where nobody was around, so the wild boss started to get very brave over here, and they started attacking innocent people, so that was actually like I guess it's kind of like it was a nice coincidence that that there actually was such a thing in folklore.
Oh yeah.
And like.
I mean, it's basically like
Yeah.
that one monster that makes you drop cash in a game.
Well,
I'll be so pissed.
But that's really cool because like I mean I've looked over your Steam page several times already, and I look at them and I was like I have no idea what that one is. What's this one? What's this one? And all that. But it's still mixed in there with stuff that you recognize. Like you guys even have a djinn in there, which
Yes. We do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be seeing something like that mixed in with all the other Southeast Asian characters.
But wait, doesn't The Witcher already have one? Actually?
No, but that's the thing. The Witcher has like a djinn and everything, but not mixed in with like
Yeah.
a pontianak. So it feels very.
It's not. Yeah, it's very.
It feels very expensive. The
Yeah.
the kind of characters that you all have.
Southeast Asian, right?
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Do we have any?
We have a lot of comments.
I was about to ask because I
Dude,
kept
like,
seeing them like popping out. I was like, we got it.
Okay. So let's just address some comments, right?
Yes.
So WSA said, I gave my thumbs up. So we'll win. Play Resident Evil Village.
Sure, I will play the game and lose terribly.
I think
Y'all
you
can
will
laugh
die
at me.
like within like 5 minutes.
I would think I'll die within 5 seconds. Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll die at the start screen.
So Winnie said that would love to see Wayne and Carl play Paranormal HK. I watched the gameplay. It's terrifying.
Which one's Paranormal HK? Is this the?
Later I show you. It's
Okay, so you haven't shown me
It's
this
pretty
one,
scary.
Okay.
Play a VR horror game. Yeah, we will need a VR machine. No VR machine. How to play?
Anybody doing VR machines out
Yeah,
there want to
so-
sponsor us? we'll take it.
When you're shameless.
Hey, you opened a can of Tiger beer the moment we started.
I've been
the episode,
opening
okay?
Tiger beer since episode 1.
Yes.
Exactly. So Danny says that we have to make an episode of us playing horror. Yes. Then the very first one will be with Ghostlore. Okay.
You were about to say ghost maps, weren't you?
No. I said Ghostlore, dude. Okay. This is a little bit out there, but I really like the support, Evnish. Please read slow. Can we have an episode featuring ghost maps, ghost law, drunken ramblings, the briefcase podcast, all in one episode?
I don't think we have a space big enough.
Like the drunken ramblings guys is almost 6 people, and then the two of us plus the briefcase podcast and the ghost law guys.
That's
Oh my lord, that's 11 people.
well, you're really good at maths.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah. I will think about it. KVI.
WSA. I'm
Yeah.
mispronouncing it for sure.
Yeah.
So
He
I
pointed out the
the Bami Nepit.
Okay.
And WSA, at least one of our listeners loves that.
I need to
Did
bring
we
this
did we
comment
pronounce
out.
it right?
I don't know what
I
that
don't
is.
know.
Oh, okay.
But he said, just like in real life, when traffic bully bumps to you, you lose money.
The real monsters are coming out now.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, John. Thanks for
Hi, John.
tuning in. He says play Alien Isolation. Oh my
But he
God.
spells it as Ellen Isolation, which I appreciate.
Which yeah. Yeah.
I see it now. I wish I won a T-shirt because I have a T-shirt that says instead of Alien it says Ellen.
Yeah. Alien Isolation. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, whew, that's a
that's
lot of
right,
comments.
yeah.
We love it. Keep it coming in, guys.
Yep.
Okay, so of all the like we said, over 40 creatures and spirits in the game. Of all of them, which ones are your favorite within the game? But which ones are the ones that you actually also like on their own outside of the
like
game
your
itself?
favorite.
Yeah.
I think the Hantu Raya.
Oh,
the one.
nice.
Heard that one? Heard about that one?
Wait, so
Just
would it be a spoiler to ask what the Hantu Raya does in the game?
I don't think so.
No, right?
actually it would be.
Okay. Then
Okay.
No. With this, y'all, everybody listening, y'all want to find out what the Hantu Raya does in Ghostlore? When it comes out, you have to buy.
You buy the game,
Yes.
and then you Google it.
Just Google it and you would know.
Yeah, Google it and buy the game.
You would know, but buy the game first.
Yeah.
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 I mean, what other creatures from the games do you guys really enjoy?
Adam?
I guess I like the jiangshi just because
Oh,
it looks very cute
Not.
which
Okay.
I guess you can tell I don't like horror games. But
Yeah. Okay, so not really. Okay, here. Okay, so not really a monster, but actually a while back, right? Someone actually suggested to me about this thing called chindak. You guys know what that is?
How do I
A
spell it?
weird tiger.
Oh my god! Yeah.
CINDAK,
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was suggesting to me, okay, so maybe can you have like a weird tiger be an enemy in the game lah?
Yeah.
I thought, hey, weird tigers actually, I think it's pretty cool. I don't think it should be an enemy. Instead, I think there should be an ability for the hero to actually turn into the weird tiger. Okay, so Carl, you actually played Diablo 2, right?
Oh yeah.
So you know the
Druid.
druid class,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think that one is, if it counts, I'll say that the weird tiger is also one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool lah. You just turn into
Yeah.
a tiger.
That
right?
is pretty cool.
like tiger beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so upset that I didn't see that coming.
Dude,
So upset that I didn't
you were
see that
setting
coming.
it up for me, man. Right?
Oh, but that's pretty like the weird tiger is something I rarely heard anybody talk about. So to have that be a feature, that's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's just, I mean, it's not just me like, it's credit to all the people who like given suggestions and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
From from my friends to
How many?
yeah,
How many friends did you have? Okay, wait. So, two-part new question I'm throwing in. How many friends did you get like these ideas from, and how many of them did you ask, and then eventually how many of them went, "Hey, I heard you're making a game about Southeast Asian monster. You want to put this one inside or not?"
I mean, okay, I only have one friend. Actually, I don't really have that many friends. So okay.
Don't say that. lah. You have us.
Yes.
So so it's just this one friend, and he kind of already knows that I'm making it. Already.
Okay.
So because I mean, one of the first thing I did when I asked to meet him about this was to show him the prototype lah. So he knows about it. Yeah.
Nice.
So he told you to put in which entity?
He suggested the pocong.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
he suggested he tells me that if you want to go for the popular ones are the, like you say, the pontianak and the orang minyak lah, right?
And the pocong, of course.
And the penanggal lah, there's also another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, it's just suggestions are mostly from him, I guess.
Actually, let's
Yeah,
think
then
like,
there are others from like say just online comments I get in private messages, and from Reddit also, yeah.
Nice.
Mm.
Nice.
so when did you start like? Because you guys mentioned that y'all started talking about it on Reddit. When did y'all start posting on Reddit? And because you were saying that y'all had some suggestions coming in from Reddit, so this must have been quite a while.
I remember this clearly because I started posting this on Reddit when the pandemic started, March 2020. That was when I started making posts on it.
So
yeah.
sorry, the game, you already started developing a game in like 2019 and everything. So a lot of this, wow, okay.
Yeah, 2019. But with the pandemic and people working from home, I no longer have to travel like 1.5 hour there, 1.5 hour back.
Wow.
So for me it ended up being, I had this time, to
Nice.
actually kind of just to really work on the game, like this extra time to do so, which I guess.
No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Which actually basically the game is made during the pandemic lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's a heck of a pandemic game. No, but I mean that in the best possible way. That really is a heck of a pandemic game. So that's your favorite. Those are your favorite creatures in game. So the Changsha and the HANTU Raya
Mm-hmm.
And the
What-
were-tiger.
and the Were Tiger.
Mhm.
What are your favorite creatures outside of the game? Just like in general, in terms of their folklore.
Yeah.
To not keep it on age, Adam. Let's start with you first. What's your favorite creature, just in general, in terms of the folklore? Better still, which one frightens you the most?
Yeah.
nature. I was like, hard. What is there outside? I don't know. I'm not a horror fan. All I can think about is like the Twilight vampires.
He's more.
Why? I don't know why I think about that now. But
It's fine.
Frightening to some people, to be fair.
Yeah. The glitter is a little bit too much.
So I'll just say Adam is more of a sci-fi fan.
Okay.
As for me as well, I'm also pretty big sci-fi fan.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's how.
So Men in Black?
A bit more than that.
No. Like as in like not the movie trilogy. Like
Oh, the conspiracy theories.
yes,
Is it?
those like or the children in the wait
Children of the Corn, is it?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. Like those theories.
Or were you thinking more like Dune?
Oh, you're
Oh my
asking,
lord.
it's gone to me now, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I mean
okay.
it's an open
Oh, it's
floor,
a-
right? It's an open
So I
floor.
think for me, okay, so and I think if I were to say this, I think a light bulb would have went off at Adam's here also. I think for me the my favorite outside of this one
Yeah.
it has to be Cthulhu Mythos.
Wow.
Yeah.
It has to be Cthulhu Mythos.
I think
Yeah.
John,
Wow.
one of our previous guests who is also listening, he did say something about the
Yeah.
Cthulhu's, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty terrifying.
Yeah,
You ask me.
it is. Yeah.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
The nice confluence between like sci-fi and horror. I see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Wait.
yeah,
You asked him already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's like the vampire thing. Like I remember reading this fan fiction about Twilight, which sounds ridiculous now that I say it out loud, but
All good. We got all.
it was called Luminosity. It's this like rational science fiction about like Twilight. It's like what if like vampires were not all about just sucking blood, but like they were actually like real and they did things so like there you go. I mean, it's actually great to be a vampire, right? Because like you live forever, you are invincible. Like it's great. Like you don't have to be evil. Like you could, if you wanted to make the world a better place, you want to start by being a vampire because like vampires are awesome. Like you fly
You live
around.
forever lah,
Yeah, you live
basically.
forever, and that's great. Like for me, that's great. Like and so the story goes on about that lah. So like, how would you go taking over like the vampire like society? Because obviously they would rule the world, right? Because you live
Yeah.
forever.
I have to say the most frightening thing that's happened to me tonight is that you've convinced me that I should probably go check out this Twilight fanfiction. I never thought I would say those words out loud because that actually sounds quite interesting.
So wait, you actually you're actually afraid of basically them lah, like the vampires lah.
Wouldn't you be?
No, I want to become one of them. What are you talking
Okay,
about?
fair
If I
enough.
can live forever, yeah, heck yeah, I want to see flying cars, dude. What are you talking about? I'll become a vampire. This is on tape. I'll become a vampire just to see flying cars.
You do realize you've shown your age by going, this is on tape, right?
Okay, just something that caught me lah. Okay, while you guys are all talking about vampires, things like that. Okay, do you guys happen to know anything about in Singapore? Right? Do you guys happen to know anything about those black and white houses?
Oh
Because
yeah.
I always see those houses, right, and I always think this must be the kind of house that a vampire must live inside one.
Yes.
You're right. So
Yes.
do you happen to know do you guys happen to know anybody in your circle who actually lives in one of those houses? What's it like to live in such a secluded place?
Great question.
Yeah.
I visited one a friend lah. Like
Okay.
I think
Okay.
who has since left Singapore. Obviously you have to be very rich to live there.
Yeah, of
Right?
course.
But there's a lot of forests, and
Uh-huh.
the houses are very very old.
Yeah, okay.
They predate. I think they predate World War II actually.
Uh-huh.
They predate World War II
Uh-huh.
houses in Singapore. I think it's the Some of them were built during the colonial.
Oh, yeah.
period.
Yeah.
So a lot of ghost stories.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, even coming from. I mean, the friend that that stayed there at Angmor lah. Ghost stories also.
Is he like Nosferatu or something like that? You say it's Angmo,
No lah, no. Definitely not. I wish, dude. I think I won't be here. I won't have a reflection if he was Nosferatu.
Okay,
But he was
okay.
just a normal dude.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, but he did say that he heard a lot of ghost stories from his neighbor.
Okay.
He wasn't really scared. It's usually a lot of annoyance. There's like big lizards going into his house and stuff.
Snakes.
Yeah, snakes. Sometimes snakes. Yeah, but he did say that the houses are beautiful lah. There's always he said that there's always this creepy aura to it, which he likes lah.
Okay.
I don't know, like I think white people in horror films, they just love each other, I guess. I almost wanted to move this studio to a black and white house just for the kick of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
wouldn't it be very expensive?
It's very expensive.
Yeah, right.
To live in a horror like a very scary place. And just a slight tangent, since this is the last episode, right? And we're gonna move out.
Last episode of the year.
Last episode of the
let's
year
not
for
frighten
Dead
people.
Air, and we're gonna move out of this place like soon, like by this month. We can reveal where we are located right now.
We'll save that to the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep people listening.
You see, Wayne is the devil, right? Like, he does that. I almost wanted to say it right then and there. Okay, but we'll keep it to the end. So you watch until the end, then I'll review.
Adam's like money.
Influence, yeah, money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's like money. I'm like monetization. Yeah.
Milk it. Okay, fine.
Milk it.
Alright.
Viewers. Yeah.
Exactly.
The YouTube equivalent of money.
Yeah, but black and white houses are really creepy. The creepiest. I wouldn't call it a black and white house. I'll call it like a colonial era building. Is obviously Old Changi Hospital, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just those old buildings in general, like the colonial buildings specifically, but like just the older buildings.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like the black and white places, there's just this weird feeling you get when you walk in, right?
Yeah.
It's just I cannot.
Yeah.
Old flats also sometimes I cannot even do.
Oh yeah, you should go to Dakota Crescent at night. I mean, it's no longer around now.
Yeah, no, man. I've been in that area during the day. I don't think I want to go down there at night.
Fun.
Yes, of course you've been to Dakota Crescent at night. Of course you have. So no, do we have no? Okay, no questions. Okay, good. That means I can jump in with mine. I will get back to the question, but I just want to ask one thing. Just since we're on the topic of the creatures, you said there was one that was inspired by house lizards.
Yes.
What? Without spoiling, because you said that this is one of the original monsters you came out, right? What does this creature do in the game?
Oh, I mean, you'll be quite disappointed because
You'd be surprised.
because it's just a spell casting creature. That's all. And I mean, of course, it makes its distinctive cry, but yeah, mostly it's just.
Hey, monetization, guys. It's not disappointed. You'll be.
Yeah.
I'm saying this right now because he knows I'm terrified of lizards. So the fact that you have the cry,
Yes.
that's enough to frighten the crap out of me.
Oh yeah.
To me, that's gonna be the most scariest monster in your entire game. Is the Chichat monster.
There's a whole family of them actually.
Oh
And,
my
You
lord!
know, and their names are like names are all like puns. Like okay, and so there's one that's called the Komodo Wizard. Get it? Okay, so you get it right. So yeah.
Please continue.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know which one is scarier, like the lizards. But at least we get the cute lizards, man.
I'm sorry. How are you glossing over the fact that one of them is called the Komodo Wizard?
No.
I love that.
I love that. That's why I'm a bit torn apart to kill them because it's so cute, right?
Oh no, I'll kill them. I'm frightened of lizards. I love that pun though.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned sounds because like he was saying that Ghostlore is not a very scary game, right? It's like a very light-hearted thing, but I think some of the sounds can be quite scary because
He was actually
I have
scared.
gotten scared by the sounds myself, and
Which
I'm
one?
like
Yeah, could you tell us some of
the orang minyak basically. Yeah, but,
Alright.
but yeah, because
Oh,
even
I-
though I'm the one developing it, so I hear it for the first time after he pushes it like online, and I listen to it. I was like, oh,
I gave him this.
What the
I
hell
gave the
was that?
Orion Maniac this very this very perverted sounding laugh.
Oh no.
Like, so.
Oh.
I listened to it in the middle of the night. I was like, oh. What?
Adam, from one coward to another. Let me just say, I refuse to even write ghost map scripts at night. So I don't know how you develop this stuff at night. I can't do it.
No, because it's not very scary like normally, right? It's not a
Yeah.
scary game, but some of the sound effects is just like, oof.
Well-
Sound has like a way of like being really scary, like
Yeah.
just by itself.
I used when
It's really weird.
when Ghost Map started, right, in way back in 2019. I used to edit till way late at night, and then I got super terrified.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing it.
No, but that, I mean, just going back to the
Exactly.
the sound thing. That's
It's like the sound, right? Like like for example, it's just like a thud. That's it. But it's in the middle of the night, and then I'm like, whoa. And then you're on your headphones. You're like, ugh.
I mean, was that something that you guys were keenly aware of when you started, or is it like one of those things where as you're developing the game, then it became something that became a bit more important? Because it's interesting that you brought that up, because I hear a lot of people when they talk about horror movies how sound design is very important to horror movies. He talks about it a lot, but like, you know, that's the thing, and it's something that I like as somebody who just writes the horror, I don't think about it as much as he does.
You don't hear the sound yet.
Yeah, exactly. Then I watched the episode, I was like, oh god, did I write that?
He writes the pre-sound.
Yeah, but was that something that you guys had in mind from the start, or was it something that
No, it
developed?
was definitely not something I have in mind at the start, because I think I mentioned I handle the art side.
Yeah.
And he handles the programming.
Yeah.
So we don't actually have a dedicated sound person.
Right.
So for sounds, right, actually what I do is that I go to this website called freesound.org. Okay, and it's got all these sounds that have been just released in the public domain.
Right.
Okay, so I just thought, you know, for in the case of the orang minyak, I thought, ooh, you know, this is the kind of sound that some perverted guy would make.
Yeah.
You know, then I just okay, let's just put it in, you know.
I was very skeptical of that process to begin with, because like he said, oh, you have free sounds, and like you're free, so it can't be very good, right? So and he's not a sound guy, so I was like, yeah, we should have a proper sound designer. But
Right.
I think he's done like a really great job with the sound, like yeah. So I was like pleasantly surprised with that. So it's turned out really well, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Free
Yeah,
sound.
he definitely has a talent for that. Yeah.
He's really good. Freesound.org
Yeah.
is really
No,
good.
but
We
like-
use it also.
Yeah.
But if you go on it, at least when I go on it, I'm just like, what is this? Like, this is nonsense, and then like, I can't get anything myself, right? But like, if you, I guess you spend the time,
Okay,
and it's
so
totally
I
different.
I think I want to talk about this because I like talking about this kind of technical stuff.
Yes,
So
please do.
Yeah,
I
please.
think the
Is it
secret,
okay?
right? I think the secret, right, is that you mustn't just when you look for sounds, right, you must think outside the box a bit, and you mustn't just literally just look for the sounds.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
are okay. So like I have a sound in game for cooking. That's basically the sound of frying. You know, the sound of frying or wok.
Yeah.
You know what I use for that? Rustling leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, huh.
Which
No,
is
Yeah,
what-
so-
which is what
so
actual
you-
sound
you cannot
designers
just,
do.
You cannot
right?
just literally just, oh, you know, I want the sound of frying, so I go and get the sound of frying. You must also have an idea in your head of like how you actually want it to sound. Then you search for something like, you know, yeah.
It's
so-
like when you see one of those videos that breaks down sound, Foley artists for
Yeah,
movies,
yeah.
right? It's usually not how you think it is. Like bones breaking is probably like breaking celery.
yeah.
That's it.
Mm.
Like, a lot of the sounds, some of it were Foley for Ghost Maps also. It's also not what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but really good info.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, we have a question that's addressed to both of you.
Uh-huh.
WSA asked, how long does it take for the guys to finish a new creature in the game from idea, developing the visual, programming it into the game? So 3 steps: idea, visual, and programming.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a bit difficult because it's not really a linear process.
Right. Okay.
And plus every monster is different as well, so they kind of like have varying levels of difficulty. I would say that on average, I'll say maybe it might take me a week to come out with the visuals for it. And then for programming, I think Adam actually has devised quite a way.
I think it's basically like 1 day to 10 years kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah.
1 day to 10 years.
Yeah.
some things just
Yeah.
never finish.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah,
things are
yeah.
like, oh wow.
Some monsters have problems and they continue to have problems this very day. You know.
What's the most complicated monster that you guys have been working on so far?
Adam.
I mean, the one that's finished, at least.
Adam, you want to answer that one?
Adam?
Yeah.
What was the 10-year one?
Okay, not really a monster per se, but one of the abilities is to that you can kind of resurrect enemy things you kill, and you can kind of like necromancer them back, and like so they'll be your friends after that for like a limited time. So that was a real headache because like so sometimes they'll come back and then they'll stay, and then sometimes they wouldn't, and sometimes they would just randomly be on your side for no reason. Like so it was like really messy, and it was like It's like a really simple concept to begin with, right? Just be like, yeah, if you kill stuff, sometimes they would come back to life and be your friend, right? But when you actually try and then program that, it's such a pain. It was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a 10-year process. Like
It's
when you
still-
say
it's
it
still
out loud,
buggy, right?
yeah. But when you say it out loud, it sounds so, it's like so complicated also. So, yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, you kill something and it might be your friend.
Okay, that's the
They come back-
simplified version.
Necromancy, necromancy
Yeah.
in one sentence.
Yeah. No other questions, right? Well,
No, no,
okay.
no.
Yes.
Dennis, he loved the name Komodo Wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You've already got a fan for that one.
Alright.
Wait, where was I? See lah, I lost my. Oh, okay. Just wanted to ask the audience as well. If you guys have your favorite supernatural creatures and spirits, please let us know what they are as well.
Yeah.
And then we will choke the guys and ask them is that in the game.
Want to put it in the game or not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Yeah.
So
I would like to hear.
we were just gonna ask whether it's in the game, but if you want them to suggest stuff to put, they can.
Yeah.
also.
Just suggest.
Oh, Koropo Auntie.
Wow, that one complicated, yeah.
Koropo Auntie, dude.
I mean, that was a bit difficult because it's an individual, right? We
Yeah.
kind of like it's kind of easier for us if like the spirit, the ghost or whatever is kind of like a species, so that
Yeah.
there can be multiple of them.
Yeah, but Koropo Auntie could be an endgame boss that can summon Miss Peace at will.
Sure.
Because she does some versions of the urban legend is that she actually has two Miss Peace seeing her. And then to beat her, you have to buy her Koropo.
Kyle secretly got dream to do Koropo Auntie video game, right? I see it coming up now.
Now I just want to eat like prawn crackers, man. Like, what if it's like a conglomerate's way of like psychoing you, like one of those like really messed up psycho experiments that makes this idea in your head to eat prawn crackers.
No, I'm not. You know what? I was gonna ask which company is doing this, but at the same time, I don't want us to get demonetized. So no, I'm not gonna ask you which company is doing this. No, never mind, Carl. Let's move on from that one before we get demonetized.
I mean, I have a really strong craving to eat Koropo now. I haven't had it for a really long time.
Right. Downstairs later we go buy.
Actually, yeah, neither have I. Oh, okay.
Necromancers, WSA says Necromancer sounds cool. Just like real life when I kill my friends and they come back to life.
I'm. Alright, we do have interesting fans, to be fair.
Yeah, we do have interesting fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, he's not technically confessing to murder because they come back to life.
Yeah, the trick is to chop off the head and remove the head from the torso so they won't come back to life, right?
Fair enough.
Jolene is asking, does the game has haunted objects?
Yes.
I have plans for that, but I think Adam, I actually put it in that document, right? The list of remaining features, but we just haven't worked on it yet.
We have a very long to-do list. Yeah.
Mind
Very
you,
long.
this is just two like a team of two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who are working on it. So yeah, they're working their best, just like us.
But
We're
then
working
again,
our best.
but then again, we don't really have an excuse, right? Because things like Stardew Valley exist and just one guy. Things like Undertale exist and just one guy.
Yeah.
No,
but
but
he's
it's
spent,
different.
like-
I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
had a plan.
Yeah.
We always look things from the external perspective that, oh yeah, it's very easy, but when you do it, it's like, oh my god.
Well, I can imagine that because maybe it's just me being clueless about game development, but the fact that you went from like what was it 2018, right?
Yeah.
2018 to now, and you guys are almost done, and it's still only two guys. To me, that seems like one heck of a feat. But I don't know how long games take to develop. But just somebody like me, that's really impressive, though.
It's
What
the
just do
same
this?
like what I was talking about before we started, right? That you guys are also really impressive, like because like this whole podcast thing would used to take like a whole studio
Yeah.
of like MediaCorp artists to do, and like you have a sound guy behind and like a whole team of people. But now it's just two guys. Like,
I mean,
for this quality. Yeah.
did you guys ever consider like getting? Because you said you were considering a sound guy, but did you guys ever think to yourself, oh, we want to build a bigger team around this, or is this something that y'all might do after the game is launched for like future project or anything? See, I'm already teasing sequel for y'all already.
Like Adam, don't take it the wrong way, but actually I never intended to have a team. I intended to be solo all the way.
Y'all can't see, but Adam's crying right now. So you were playing this. So okay, what changed your mind then that you?
what was so attractive about me?
Yes. I mean, y'all can't see it, but we can see what's so
Okay,
attractive about it.
I think it's the fact that he has the skills. Like I don't have to. I'm attracted by the fact that I don't have to struggle with programming anymore, and I could potentially do more lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a blessing lah, like to find someone that you are level with. Like believe it or not, like Ghost Maps was my idea initially,
Yeah.
right? And I knew Wayne, like, for the Ghost Maps fans, right? I knew Wayne like from our own circles, and he is a writer and I'm a filmmaker. And I just run by the idea to him, and it wasn't really something that I wanted to really like do. I just wanted, hey, it's actually quite interesting. There's no Southeast Asian horror podcast out there, so I want to try this. Then I started to realize that actually, I might need a teammate on this. I can't just do this alone. Sure, I can do it, but it will probably not be as good as when Wayne. It's obvious, right? It's good when Wayne is on board.
Oh, you.
So I asked him, and then Ghostmaps Bond. I'm pretty sure it's similar to that sense, right? Because you it's good to have someone where you know that okay, he's gonna get things done. But I don't need to worry about a certain aspect of it.
Yeah.
which is amazing, right? When you can find the right people for the right project.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Sorry, I need to correct you.
What?
Ghost Maps wasn't the only thing that was your idea.
What?
Pretty much everything we've done started out as
lah.
your... No, that's true. Dead Air and Unearth started out as your ideas as well. And then we developed it.
It doesn't matter like if it's
I know,
my idea.
But
it's a partnership.
must give credit where due.
Yeah.
Very important.
Cool. So Sebastian said that well done guys. So congratulations.
Thank
for
you
the
so
game.
much.
I'm like super excited. I might just play the game tomorrow.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll remind people of this later on, but I just want to check with you guys. So, when is the game coming out?
Okay, so we mentioned to you. I think we mentioned to you.
Yes.
Okay. We mentioned to you like sometime, right? Okay, sorry, my bad. I think
Okay.
I think we are going to. I think it's gonna just only be out in something like July 2022.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
But
announce?
you can still play it now because.
No, as
we
in
are
like, can
given-
I announce it?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can link the Steam page as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll mention it again later on if you're
Okay.
okay with that.
Yeah.
But, we just want to get people like hyped up on
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna run a banner. So, guys, if you want to support them, Ghostlore will be out in July 2022. But before then, Ghost Maps will probably do a few videos on that. You can see us play.
We've actually
first
given Wayne and Carl beta keys.
All
Yeah.
about the beta keys, man.
Yeah.
I just want to see Wayne play. I think it'll be super funny.
Why you do this to me, huh? Wait, bad enough you want to put me in cemetery. Now you want to see me embarrass
Idea
myself
we
on
play
video
game in
games.
cemetery. Wow, even got more kick. Okay, so WSA is asking, does the game have real life enchanted or mystic items that can be equipped?
I'm sorry, real life?
Yeah, like the susuk
Oh no.
or like the Chris, the
Okay,
Chris.
there is the Taming Sari, but it's a skill. You guys, do you know what that one is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a skill. Like the, no, we've actually by and large, we've actually kind of just, we've not done any sort of like any sort of these items are actually mainly because we don't really know much about it. So I mean, again, I say we're open to suggestions because
Yeah.
okay. So the thing about
Like my take on it is that he's been like really perfectionist about it, right? Because most games would do stuff like that, and they wouldn't care that it's you make stuff up, right? You make stuff as you go. But for Andrew, it needs to be something, at least if not real, at least something based off some like real lore, right? So so yes, I think that's
I mean, I can respect that lah.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me just talk about now that you bring that up, let me just talk about let me just talk about how it's done in Diablo 2 a little bit. Okay. So in Diablo 2, right, the items are procedurally generated. That means, right, whenever they appear, whenever the player finds them, right, they are kind of like, they kind of like have they got a bunch of characteristics and it's randomly picked from a pool of characteristics that are set by the game,
Yeah.
That's one type of item they have. They have another type of items called legendary items, and these are some things that are more handcrafted by designers and
Yep.
and a bit more
Right.
thematic lah. So if there's one thing that I'll say right now that is that's still as of yet missing from Ghostlore is that we don't really have any of these legendary items yet. They are still actually, for the most part, they are still actually those procedurally generated items lah. So this is something that we are definitely open to ideas here lah. At first, one of the things I wanted to do was to kind of like look into Hindu mythology for that, because there actually are quite a number of cool weapons that you have in Hindu mythology. Yeah.
Actually, across.
Yeah. So
Maybe you could include a Ghost Maps weapon.
yeah, okay, sure.
Right. The narrator's head or the narrator's sword.
So I mean,
or Wayne's spectacles.
so for
S5 intelligence.
I guess for the people who are listening out there, I mean, you'll be really good if you guys can give me some links or some leads of like
Yeah.
any of these enchanted weapons that you know from Southeast Asian folklore.
So I mean, Ghostmaps listeners, please, go head down to the Steam page or like their Facebook page and suggest to them and give them some lore. Personally, I mean, the Ghostmaps team will be liaising with them also to share some of our thoughts also.
Yeah.
What to add. I think that's the beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
As much as this is like very indie, but it's also very community driven.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was also gonna ask as well. Like, I mean, it's like you said, it's a July 2022 release, and again, I don't know how long the schedule for independently developing a game is, but like you guys have been quite active in taking suggestions from.
Yes, we have.
Like, at what point in time are you gonna just go like, okay, enough? we need to get the game out. We can't take any more suggestions, because if you guys are still taking suggestions now, that's amazing that y'all are so committed to the community side of things also.
Yeah.
Like, so when will like be the cutoff where you're like, okay, thank you for all your suggestions.
Yeah.
We're good now, guys.
Stop.
Okay, so I mean, it's kind of just still the very, like I said, you and I still kind of have that very old school mentality where the games come in like a physical media.
Yes.
And,
Oh, man.
it's just once you have it, it's the finished product. But then with the internet, that kind of becomes moot now, right? Because we can just keep on like patching them in lah.
Yeah.
As long as the foundation is there, which Adam has done a very good job with doing lah. Like he has made a very he has kind of like made a very, very flexible system. So for me, it's just turning a couple of levers, putting a couple of knobs, entering a couple of values, and we kind of have a new item. Of course, on my side, I still got to draw it and everything lah. But I'm an artist, I'm trained for that lah. But he has made things for me, a non-programmer, to use he has made tools for me lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to hear lah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm literally picturing
Like-
two of y'all pulling
like
actual
you-
levers right now.
Like, dude,
No.
like there's actually like comments already like.
I mean,
Jolene-
it really depends on what you suggest, right? Like,
Yeah.
it can.
Jolene is asking paper talisman plus 5
Paper talismans are in.
Boom. Jolene, in. This is for us. Then is saying the narrator, which is our narrator for Ghost Maps podcast, could have his recorder as his weapon, and he would start from the beginning. Danny Chu is saying pakwa. You guys have pakwa.
I know what that is.
Yeah,
Yes.
the mirror thing as
Yeah.
intelligent. I would think more like deflect ranged attacks, because it's the pakwa. Pakwa is the mirror,
I know.
where like
Yeah,
all
I know.
Taoists have it on outside their house,
Yep.
or like you could have the incense and you burn. Then you have like you can have some repel effect. I don't. It's just like
I love how half of these Dead Air episodes are you educating me about stuff like this. Because I'll give you the okay look.
Yeah.
Definitely learning a lot as well.
Yeah.
don't say that. I'm just like bouncing off ideas through our chat.
I like how I was so focused on the chat that I didn't even look at like, the question.
Yeah, but it's
actual questions.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Next
So,
question, next
so we go
question.
back to the actual questions now.
Right.
Okay. Now this is more general. So why do you guys think that? What do you guys think that games do better than other mediums when it comes to like whether it's horror or like just supernatural themes stuff? So it doesn't necessarily have to be scary, but what do you think games do better than like say movies or books or stuff like that?
So I'm not sure if this answers your question directly, but this is something that, as somebody who's worked in games for 8 years, I'm quite opinionated about. Okay.
Go.
So for a lot of people, the go-to comparison when it comes to video games, right, is always movies
Yep.
or books
Yep.
or narrative-driven things, right?
Yeah.
So for me, right, I don't feel that this is the case at all.
Okay.
I think the closest equivalent for video games is actually theme parks and playgrounds.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yes.
please elaborate. This is very interesting, actually.
Okay, so I mean it's kind of just that, whenever you design a game,
Yeah.
you shouldn't. It's like you don't really start with the story first. You start with like. Wow, I say I'm opinionated, but now I'm at a loss for words. Okay, but
Is it the experience that you start
yes,
with?
yes,
Yeah.
it's all about the experience,
Mm.
Like when it comes to, I can't say what's the best for it, but let me just say this, okay. When it comes to trying to be, you're a film guy, you know what an auteur is, right? You know what
Yeah.
auteur theory is,
sure,
right?
yeah.
So when it comes to that, right, video games, in my opinion, are actually the worst medium for that because of the interactivity.
Yep.
Okay, so if you look at the design of a theme park, let's say the Pirates of the Caribbean ride or something. Yes, there is a premise, there is a theme, but there isn't really much of a, there's not. I mean, there is a narrative. People do spend time like the narrative in the sense that what the park goer should see at
Yeah.
which point in time, but it's not really done in the same way a movie's done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Movies, you
Yeah.
just sit there and just watch, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Games, sometimes you have to work for it.
Sorry, what is auteur?
Oh yeah,
Like,
programmer.
how would you describe it?
Programmer is asking.
It's like the difference between, don't get offended, moviegoers, Steven Spielberg and Christopher Nolan.
How do you pronounce auteur?
Uh,
How do you spell that?
you're the
It's
writer.
like it's basically auteur.
yeah, auteur.
journalism.
Ba-
Yeah,
basic-
basically,
It's
you create your own movement already.
so it's like art house versus
Okay, so
blockbuster.
let me. It's
Kinda
not,
like
it's
that.
not really like that, lah. But it's more like for if somebody say that you're an auteur, right? That means you're treating your movie
As
as
a-
kind of like a kind of
Expression.
like outlets for self-expression.
It's
Yeah.
an
So
expression.
for a game, right, I don't feel that they are very strong at doing that, and it comes back to like the thing I said, right, about asking people like what are the things they want to see inside, and things like that. So I'll say that in terms of Ghostlore, there's actually very little of me inside of it. I mean, I'm quite a boring guy actually, but it's just that for me it's just all about the experience and the mood and the atmosphere that I try to create.
I think maybe you put
Yeah.
yourself inside the game. It's just that subconsciously, lah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe after we play, then we're like, oh, actually,
Maybe.
this is very you, right?
Maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know, but
I think there is lah. Orchard, there was one game that was which quite recently, Death Stranding. I felt that game is like basically his vision, right? I don't know because like who puts like really weird shit in the game? Like you can pee in the game, you get like very specific actors to be in the game.
But is he really expressing anything
don't
of
know.
himself, or is he just putting the things that he happens to find cool and interesting inside? Right?
But isn't that like kind of expressing yourself? though?
Yeah.
Right? Because you find it cool. It's selfish. Auto is being selfish. I don't
Yeah.
care about the audience. I don't care about like I wouldn't play the game. I watch the game. I find it fascinating. It's something that I've never seen before because it's
Yeah.
literally in his head. But it's not something that I would pay for because it's not something that I would want. Like what I want is some like action and whatever, right? But this is a game about delivering babies or I don't know, right? So I feel like is sometimes being an author it aligns with the vision of the mainstream, like how Christopher Nolan has done it. Like somehow, right, his vision and what he wants to do is aligned with the mainstream audience, and now he's a success. But there's a lot of times where when an author he goes to that direction and he doesn't align, and then it just becomes a flop, which is unfortunate, right?
I'm quite sure the entire audience can tell I don't know anything about Death Stranding by the look on my face when you said delivering babies.
And peeing.
And
I
peeing, I was
love the peeing part. I love the peeing part. Like it's like the
You heard it here first, guys. Kyle loves the peeing part.
Okay, so all this thing I just say, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say that this is just my opinion on it lah. Sekali there's some in the audience, there's some game developer, and this guy is saying, oh my god, this guy does not know what he's talking about.
No
You know?
lah.
But I really do find that very, very fascinating actually. Because like it's like what you said, like even the way I phrased the question is so like the go-to comparison is movies and like books and like comics or whatever.
No, I personally think it's theme parks.
Yeah, that's because I've never heard that comparison before. And it's such in the moment you said it like it made sense to me because when that's why I came up with like the idea of experience because like I mean, there'll be stories in there, but I mean, okay, let's go to I think somebody pointed out quite nicely. Dennis, where he said maybe because video games is active participation versus passively like reading and stuff like that. So I think that's where this idea of the interactivity kind of not overshadows, but it's the main focus in games.
That's why I think a lot of these games, like say for example The Last of Us, you know, where they provide all kinds of narrative choices and things like that. Okay, in my opinion, this kind of things is kind of like, you know, you don't need to do it that way. You know, just a simple act of just running around. You know, I mean in a theme park and a roller coaster, right? It's kind of pretty much a linear story, right? You know, but it's still interesting and fun, right?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, like you don't need to provide like the sort of like narrative choice. I mean, you can. I mean, there's an audience for it certainly, but you know, like the interactivity is not just about that. You know, it's just a simple act of just, you know, moving around and you know, performing actions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I totally agree.
You know,
I mean, I for one, as a filmmaker, which is a very unpopular opinion from where I'm standing, is that I think games are a great tool for narrative. I think they are a great tool for expression. It's just that a lot of people think that they are just like, it's just for playing. Like there's nothing bigger than that, which I don't think is true.
Yeah, because most games are terrible, right?
And you were worried somebody would get offended at your statement.
Exactly, right?
And it was like, I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
Yeah.
I know there's like a mixed opinion on the Harry Potter franchise as of late, but I feel like the best
Movie games
example,
are the worst, right? Yeah.
to you, to your statement is that you wouldn't want to go into like the actual set of Hogwarts if you have not watched the movies or played the games, because you play the games, you're like, oh my god, I can go inside to this part where this thing took place. It's like an extension. I think that's the beautiful part of what the game does.
But I feel like the Harry Potter games were so bad because they're all just pure like money grabs. Like they're just like milking the heck out of the franchise.
But that's not the point.
Like if you were make like a really good Harry Potter game, it would be completely different. It would
I know.
It wouldn't even.
It is frustrating for me as well.
I mean, you mentioned Cyberpunk like before we even started this,
Cyberpunk
right?
2077.
And you were saying that you didn't like it at all, but like the only reason why it's so popular and it's even like we weren't talking about it is because it's actually like a good game, right? I mean, even with all its flaws, it's still something which they actually tried, right? They actually tried to make a game. Well, most of these movie games are just like this Hollywood executive. It's like, you make game, and
honestly, I can't think of any games that were based on Hollywood movies that are remotely good, to be frank. Because exactly, because
I can think of one. Please. And it's probably a terrible example.
Okay.
Because it's so old. Aladdin.
Oh, okay.
I actually really liked the Aladdin. I mean, it adds nothing to the actual movie.
I mean, they're definitely exceptions.
That's
why they're so exceptional. They're like
I mean, I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so
this is where your hatred comes from, right?
That's where my hatred comes from.
Because you hate the
this is
Resident
what
Evil
wakes me
movies,
up
right?
in the morning. Resident Evil is a reverse, is the inverse. It's actually the games that are better than the movies.
But I mean, it works both ways because like movie like directors have absolutely destroyed like gaming franchises as well, right? Like the whole Evil Boy thing and Resident Evil. Yeah, that's Evil Boy, right? Like that was, oh my goodness.
You have no idea how much anger I have.
Man,
I will probably destroy our chances of getting sponsored by Capcom, but fuck the Resident Evil movies.
Wait, we had chances of getting sponsored by Capcom.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know
how much is.
But I hate the movies so much.
Hang on. I'm gonna balance this out for you guys out there in Capcom. He hates your Resident Evil movies. That Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie, I love it so much. It's terrible.
But I love the
love
game.
it.
I love the games. Most of it, I love the games.
You know, I heard Yuri Ball is like a very successful chef right now.
No way.
Yes, he is.
Wait. So for the audience, while we tangent,
Oh, we've tangent a lot.
who is Yuri Ball?
You would know this. He's like,
No, I'm bad with names.
I mean, he's
He made a lot of video game movies.
yeah,
like-
which
like,
were. Well, he's
Hitman,
known as terrible, really bad director.
Like arguably
Really?
the worst director. That's what they call him.
Yeah.
He had a boxing match with one of his critics, like one of
Yes.
the YouTubers. Yeah. He challenged
What's
him to a
worse than the
boxing
room?
match.
Worse
No
than
lah, not worse than the room.
Different, but
Yeah.
similar.
Exactly. It's different from the room. The room is terrible
See,
in its
the room
good
is
way.
an example of an auteur.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly my point, right? You do it your way, but it may go either way, right? You make a
Yeah.
lot of money, or you like. I mean, he did get what he wants, lah. He became a cult classic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey man, if Tommy Wiseau wants to be a sponsor for our show, I'll happily take that money. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry for the tangent.
Yeah, like,
guys.
oh, hi, Wayne.
My bad.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be like one person in our audience like, oh my god, they're talking about the room. This is why we've been waiting for this horror podcast through this whole time.
No, I think it's pretty popular now, ever since they made the movie.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
hi, Carl.
My mind is still blown out this new term, auteur. My mind is still blown.
Is your mind blown by the fact that we just went Tommy Wiseau counts as one?
Yeah, that too. But mostly that.
Actually,
this whole
I
new
learned
term.
something new, right? So he did.
I'm quite sure, like, if we had to look at the most controversial statements made in this episode versus the one that people are going to agree on, Tommy Wiseau as an auteur filmmaker probably be the one that almost everybody's going to go, yeah, yes,
Agree.
yeah.
Wait. So I think Adam hasn't really replied to this
Yes.
thought. Like, what do you think games do better for horror?
Like we ran out of his attention, but yes.
Yeah. Because recently, right, there's been this whole hype of horror games.
Yeah.
Like, big hype because of YouTube, I guess, like, and Twitch. And I think it's led by Plasmaphobia, right? Or people playing a lot of Plasmaphobia, reacting to it. Plasmaphobia is basically a game.
Yes. Yeah, okay, no,
Plasmaphobia is basically a game
Yes.
where you unmute your mic.
Don't worry, I don't know.
I mean,
And if you see the ghost, you're not supposed to react because you're a ghost hunter.
Oh, okay.
And
No,
then if
you've
you
told me about this.
react,
Yeah.
Your mic catches any sound, the ghost will boom, and then you die.
Okay.
I feel like this might be fighting words. Like it might be really like controversial.
Go for it. All good, man.
Go.
Let's fight.
Like I mean, I'm obviously really biased but I just think that games are just the next level. Like same like how I mean I read a lot of books, but like
Yep.
like movies are better than books and books are old and movies newer and games are
Totally
newer.
fighting words.
Fighting words. Yeah.
Totally fighting words.
He's a published writer, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
No, that's
Like,
fair.
which it's obviously nonsense, but at some extent
and,
they're
you know,
completely
we're
different.
We're gonna be dropped. Carl's not gonna be.
All good.
And we're not gonna be invited back anymore.
I mean, I say that when I spend most of my time reading. I read more than I play games, right? But at the same time, I feel like it's the future. Like I expect my kids to be like more. If I ever had kids, but I expect them to be more like playing games than anything. Like the future will be some VR or like NFT. Like I don't know what to be
NFTs,
doing. But
Yeah,
like,
no. Actually, I completely agree with you. Like, I'm a big fan of Warcraft, right? I mean, despite the state that is in as of 2021. But I've actually played Warcraft first and went back to read the books because I wanted to find out the lore. And I think that is inverse, is like reversible, right? You can either do that. I mean, you of course have to have some gaming knowledge. If you're like Wayne, you can't game for shit.
Hey. I am great at Sonic the Hedgehog. You watch your mouth. Just completed it again.
So you wouldn't be interested in the game. But if you're like me, like a normal person,
Wow.
you will probably game and then go read the lore, and you'll be like fascinated. Like, oh my god, this is like works of many people. Because usually when they hire those authors, is some random writer lah, right? They get to write for.
Excuse me.
to write for the thing. So I don't think you're wrong. Actually, I think that your statement is very fair.
But I mean, to elaborate, I'm not talking about current games. I'm talking like hypothetical, like future games would be like.
It could be that also, right?
Like just like how I say, like all the movie games are terrible and nobody should spend any time.
I like how you were worried that was going to be the fighting word when just now you said most games are crap.
I don't think so. I think
No, but I think most people agree with that. Like, I think like most like gamers worth their salt would be like, yeah, like,
Most gamers, most games are crap except for the one I like.
yeah, exactly.
most
Yeah.
games are crap. That are okay. We're gonna lose like even more potential sponsors.
As long as you don't mention any
But-
specific games.
Most
Too late.
AAA
Too late.
games, most AAA games that promises you like way bigger, right? Like there's a lot of games out there that they're just released, right? Most of them are crap on day one. Then they will release a patch on day 90, which is horrible. By then you are like, what is this, right? So yeah, they don't make games like that anymore. I grew up in a generation where I had to like buy the DVD. I had to go to Popular, like go to like 5 different Populars just to buy the stupid game. It's just so I can play because it will be out of stock, right?
Yeah.
And then some guy was like, you know what? Let's promise them like the world, and then we patch it on day 90 and not tell them. So yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
You're talking about having to buy DVDs. I had to blow into the cartridge to make sure it worked.
I did that also. It's like, okay, let me put it in writer terms, right?
Okay.
It's like me promising you this book. It will be magnificent. You will have 2,000 pages, and then you release on day one digitally 1,500 pages full of grammar mistakes, and then I'm like, the other 500 pages are coming in 90 days.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Agree.
Or you have to pay $2 for the DLC.
Yes.
That's how it feels. That's exactly how it feels.
Wow.
Yes.
I play a lot of shit games in my time. I'm very proud of this section.
I have to say that after he put it into context, I see why you're also angry now.
Yeah.
I won't say that we are
Not
angry.
angry,
We are more like,
No, I'm not pretty
Resigned to
unhappy
the
about
fact,
that. I'm not very happy about that. Like,
Yeah.
so
But that's the thing, like I think that's a good. Well, okay, it's not like you're out there like literally calling for the heads of game developers and like sending death threats or anything like that. It's just that y'all are very upset about it. But the fact that you guys are unhappy or angry or
I think it's just me.
What-
It's not.
me. He seems really unhappy. Me too. I will go out and say I played Cyberpunk 2077 20 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, refunded because I was so pissed off with the bug. And I also played 477.
Yeah.
476. I played at least 200 hours in it. So I know how it
But
feels.
I mean, like,
exactly how it feels.
to look at this from a very positive point of view, the fact that y'all care that much, like it's. I mean, again, you're not sending death threats. That crosses the line of horrible person.
No, I won't.
But like being like yelling all games are crap. Thankfully, without being specific about it, but you on the other hand going like, go little evil movies. It shows like there's a level of passion on it, which I think doesn't matter the medium. That's always a good thing, one.
Yeah, which is why I mean it brings to the point whereby I think indie creators on all levels, us, the guys from Ghostlore, everyone, is important because we need to show that the AAA people that we can do it even without. Of course, we can't do it like their level, like like with the Unreal Engine, with whatever, right, that they show. But at least we are able to bring a certain kind of quality and a certain kind of intimacy that we know as creators ourselves and consumers as ourselves, right? Like nobody will be able to create something that's like ghost maps, that is not true to horror when you don't even listen to horror.
Yeah.
Imagine like a money grubbing guy's like, hey, let's make ghost maps, but like let's make a ton of money.
Can I just say I love how we've all gone off on the tangent,
I guess
but he managed to somehow bring it back to us.
Exactly.
The equivalent is Ghost Maps versus Twilight.
I don't know.
Why am I bringing it back to Twilight?
No. But then you told me about that fascinating Twilight fanfiction thing, and now you've got me very confused for tonight.
Yep.
Now I don't know how to feel about that statement.
Okay, so I just hope that what you say just don't come back and bite us, because if it turns out that release goes on, like, oops, we need to do a day one patch. Wow.
No, dude, like it's a free internet, so nobody can censor us,
Yeah.
right? Like we're not spreading hate. We're just like pointing out our opinions, which is
Yeah.
which is fine.
I mean, then they can say that, oh, the Ghostlore guys, they say that they really don't like the state of gamings right now, and then look at what they release, ha ha ha,
No,
Oh,
but
then the one I really cannot help you.
no, but I think that's unfair. It's like the whole argument of like
Yeah.
a fan cannot feel a certain way, cannot feel negatively about a thing unless they do their own thing, which I think is unfair. Like you guys are saying, you're saying this not as we are the creators of Ghostlore and we say that gaming sucks. No, you're coming at it as from the point of view of people who play games, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, and I feel that there needs to be perspective.
Yeah.
Because Ghostlore is 2 guys, whereas all the other AAA titles, I'm pretty sure they got more than 2 guys. If they have 2 guys, right, and they're still charging $60, right, I want to know their money manager.
You're not charging $60 for the game, right?
No, we're not.
Okay, well there you go lah.
Exactly.
I feel we have the opposite problem because, like, for indie people, like, our fans tend to be too nice, right? So we have the opposite problem. We don't have like a harsh critic or just be like, no, this is terrible. They're always like, no, because they're 2 guys, and then like so you have the
from the
opposite
sound-
problem.
But from the sound of things, it sounds like Andrew is his own harsh
He's
critic.
worried about it. Yeah.
You say that. I think that's gonna one of those things that's gonna just bite us later.
No, exactly. I don't gaslight you guys or anything, but like, just wait. Just wait.
That sounds so ominous.
The internet is a lot of things. There will be
both.
There will be both. We have really nice listeners as well.
Yeah.
But there are times you're like, man.
No, but I think that's in a way it's I feel like it's part of the independent approach things, whether it's like
Yeah.
podcasting or games, like you said,
Same, yeah.
there's gonna be there'll be nice people and there'll be not nice people.
Yep.
But you said like a lot of them are, because we're indie, a lot of them will be nice, but which I think is also, and we've been quite lucky. Our listeners are all like incredibly nice.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's a good thing to come at when you're an independent creator, because like you want to encourage independent creators. Then once they make it big, then you tell them they're crap.
Yep.
So yeah.
So tangent back.
Yes, tangent back. Sorry. Coming back to-
WSA said Tommy Wiseau is a legend.
and WSA is correct.
He is correct.
Yes.
We all agree unanimously.
Yes.
Dennis says that he could be wrong, but didn't the Sims pioneer that specific kind of interactive element?
Why are you looking at me?
No, I'm like a bit confused. Like, which part was
Oh,
he
okay.
referring to?
I think he's probably talking about like your comparisons to theme parks in terms of video games.
Nah, not literal theme parks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
But
Hungry ghosts. Sebastian says hungry ghosts are hungry because they have no food for 6 months. Oh yeah, actually, you think about it, it's about 6 month cycle.
Is it a 6 month cycle?
Pretty much, because every 6 months actually 1 year, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sebastian, you drunk?
Wow. Hey, Mr. Tiger Beer.
No, I thought Chinese New Year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No,
Chinese
but,
New Year,
but they don't come up like.
But they do give offerings, right?
No,
Yeah,
but
then
they eat
what is
1
that
month.
for?
So how long does the 1 month last? Okay, so normally, oh my god, another tangent.
Ration
Normally
lah.
it's about like July, August-ish, right? When the hungry ghosts come up, and then they will go back. I think the nearest, if you're following the lunar calendar, is Qingming Festival, right?
Ah, yeah.
But they only eat 1 day. They don't eat a month.
Yeah, but you give them money, then what they use the money on?
Actually, that's a very good point.
I feel like we've covered this before, but
Inflation.
yeah.
They create inflation out there. They buy empty houses.
Maybe they just save it to let the interest grow.
Till when?
Oh my goodness.
Till the end of time.
Sponsor indie games. That's what they should be doing.
Oh my god, what if, right?
That is very dystopian.
There's a there's like a sequel of Ghostlore where you can go to hell, and then you need to convert your currency to money, and you can burn yourself money, and then you can retrieve it downstairs like at an ATM, and then you go and buy shit underworld, but you can only enter the underworld like twice. Sorry, I'm just like going on my tangent.
I was really hoping Andrew would just come in and go, okay, you know what? That's it. We're done accepting submissions for everybody. Carl, you ruined everything.
We actually have like a similar kind of idea, like with the whole burning things. Like you want to.
Just
Nah,
to
because
spoil
that one
yourself.
is just that one is kind of like just to be decided, right? And like,
Yeah, but like it's on another thing on the
yeah,
to-do
it's just
list,
another
right?
thing on the to-do list, right?
There's a long to-do list, guys. Yeah, which I think is very good. Is this your friend Zone Nava?
I don't recognize the alias.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
recognize that.
Okay, wait. Can we just, in terms of recommendations for go back, right? In terms of recommendations for items to put in, do we highlight that
Oh,
one?
Jolene said glutinous rice adds to defense.
Oh,
Or you can eat. Sounds delicious though.
I don't know. I think the takeaway for today is that we're all really hungry now.
Yep, exactly.
Should I circle it back to actual questions?
Exactly, we should. Let's
Yes.
do that.
Okay. Sorry, yes. Okay. So what was? We're gonna wrap up soonish, but I wanted to ask, what was your first encounter with like the Southeast Asian supernatural? So whether it's like your own ghost story, or a ghost story somebody told you, or even just like the first time you watched like a movie with pontianak in it or something like that.
when I was in primary school,
Mhm.
there was this kid. He had a small plastic trinket.
Yeah.
Cricket. Yeah.
Trinket.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is that it's kind of like a little, almost like a little coin, okay, with a hole in the center. Okay, and the thing is that over the field, right, from where our primary school is, right,
Mm.
there was a house that was painted green. But if you look through the hole of the item, the house was pink.
Holy crap. That's
It's not really scary, but
That's-
it's
is
not
that-
scary, but that's
but
actually quite cool.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
that like creepy to you?
Yeah.
the funny thing is that as a kid, these kind of things, you just accept it and move on. So to this day, I do not know what was it. It was my memory playing tricks on me.
Mm.
It was I think that's about the extent of it.
I mean, it's weird lah.
No, I like weird. Well, that's why we're partners. Hey.
So did I, was it some kind of like optical illusion?
It was an
Yeah.
anomaly.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I was trying to keep out the facade, and then somehow like the trinket like failed or something.
No, I really like.
It's
Because
like-
it's yeah.
Let me craft a horror story right there.
I could be like a dumb kid, right? I mean, maybe it's just, maybe it's just like there was some kind of like piece of cellophane in between the hole or something. I mean, I could just be a dumb kid back then, alright?
Probably is, but I'm gonna craft out the story.
But the thing is that I remember because I went and I put the thing around. Everything was the same. It's just that house was different. It was green and it was pink through the thing.
What if the story is that he's an extraterrestrial being, and that is his spaceship, and then that spaceship, right, turns into certain color at a certain time, and just nice during that phasing time, and that trinket that allows him to see his spaceship, like shifts into a different color, and just nice you caught it at that glimpse,
I
and
don't
then you
know,
saw
man.
the true color of what the spaceship is.
I don't know, man. Why was
Your
it
friend,
like
is your friend
house?
still? Are you still in contact with that guy?
No.
Probably an alien.
It reminds me of that whole meme. Remember the purple dress, blue dress
Oh
thing,
my
and
God.
nobody
Yeah,
could
yeah.
agree
Yeah,
like
it
what
could be
color
optical
the
illusion like
dress
that,
was.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
It probably is, but it's scarier when you think of it that way.
No, but I think that's how most of, like, whether it's a weird story or a ghost story, I think like what you said,
Yeah.
it's you're never really sure where your memory of
That
it
is
and
the
whether
scariest part, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
the scariest part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Adam, what about you?
First-
It doesn't have to be your own personal. Right?
Yeah. Or like if it was like a horror movie that you remember hearing or something like that.
Or like someone tell you a ghost story.
I don't really remember. My memory is really bad, right? It's problem.
And then it's probably for the best that you don't remember because it might have been like a completely different color altogether also.
I just remember because I live near one of the haunted houses, the Red House or something, in Pasir Ris, right? So
Yeah.
like my
Yeah.
parents lived there, so it was never a big deal for me, lah. So it was just my neighbor's house, right? And then, like,
I mean, like that's you heard about that when you were a kid, lah.
yeah, so I heard of that when I was in school, right? So for me, I was like, that one, and then like I never like put two and together. And then I was like, oh, that was the one. Oh, it was actually like I lived right next to that. Like, so I was like, what? Like, not next to it, but like nearby. Like,
Okay, so Red House for our non-Singaporean fans Red House is actually a place located in far eastern Singapore, where supposedly is almost, no, I wouldn't say most, is one of the most haunted black and white houses, and it's almost as famous as Old Changi Hospital itself. It's a must go when you go to a nearby chalet with your friends, like, or barbecues. It's like a dare thing. Like, you go. I've been there myself, and it's just a really normal house that's abandoned. Then there's two like stone lions that you're supposed to offer cigarettes to, and you need to give them.
Oh, yeah, stone lions in the game too.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I know. I saw.
Okay.
And I was like, really cool. Not based on the Red House, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, but so the
Sorry, Adam. Yeah.
Oh no.
so the story goes that you have to give them the secrets. You sound stupid when you say it out loud.
A lot of
And
these
then
things
you
do.
climb the gate, and then you need to go, so then you'll be protected by the stone lions when you're inside the Red House. Usually nothing will happen to you. There will always be one guy who say, I saw some white thing, flow over. So usually that is actually the story lah for Red House. Why it's called Red House? Because it's red in color. That's why it's called Red House. But now it's actually tenanted by a kindergarten after being abandoned for many, many years.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
was
so
a
that's the
kindergarten.
story. Yeah.
And the thing is that my parents actually knew like this random old man who lived nearby, like, and it's like some old professor, and then he lives alone in the huge house, and apparently he used to be a communist or something, and then he got like tangkat because of the whole the whole cold storage thing. Yeah, so like I remember my parents brought me to visit him like long when I was really young, and then he lived alone in like this huge house, and then like the driveway is like so long, and you go in and they're like, oh yeah, he's a communist. Like, oh.
This wasn't the Red House, right?
It's like the same area because there are all these like really old like houses, right? And they're in Pasir Ris.
Because it would have been ridiculously on brand if he was a supposed communist that lived in the Red House.
Yeah, exactly. Right, that would be like super on brand. Then you see like a tree got one star. And
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw WSA's question. Don't know whether you want to ask that also.
Yep.
WSA actually asks, Andrew, if you continued working on the game solo instead of bringing Adam on, do you think that the game would have still come out in July 2022?
It would have came out sooner. But I mean, of course, the scope would have been smaller.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been as a high quality of a game, and I think the commercial prospects would be pretty low. That's not to say it's high right now.
Definitely would have came out sooner, yeah. So I've been the one pushing for more things, right? And like when we first met, I was the one like, oh, we should do this, and we should do this, and we should do that, and he's like, no. And like when we first met, I think he really hated me. Like he told me that after that. It's like, yeah, when I first met you, like I really hated your guts. I thought you like, yeah, who the fuck is this guy? And then, like, oh shit, I'm so yeah, but yeah. It definitely would have came out by now. But the funny thing is that as time has gone on, like, so now our roles have reversed. At first I was pushing for more stuff, but now he's like, ever since like I guess I influenced him, and now he's like, oh yeah, we can do this and we can do that, and now it's like, yeah, it's never gonna come out. Yeah.
I really wish we had saved that for the last question. It's like the perfect way to end the episode.
Yeah.
But we do have some comments and like
Yes. So usually the last question that we ask for all guests is that what is your greatest fear?
Yes,
what
is your
scares
greatest-
you the most?
and it doesn't necessarily have to be
Actually,
horror.
surprisingly, it's not a supernatural.
yeah.
Yep.
It might be everything else but that. Yeah, I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of I don't know. I'm afraid of growing old. I'm afraid of basically.
But like one thing.
If you had to pick like one thing that you never want to
that
encounter.
will keep you up at night if you keep thinking about it.
I think I keep thinking about it. Probably has to be the future lah.
Like the uncertain future?
Yeah, the uncertain future.
Like what about the uncertain future that is scary? What? Robots? AI?
You might be looking
The
a bit too far.
pandemic?
I mean,
Global warming?
yeah, around there. I think so. I mean, not those things, but
Yeah.
just in general. Like,
Just in general.
I do think that things they're not going well lah. I mean, if they
It's
continue.
pretty bleak. It's pretty bleak, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I can't say I disagree with you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So
So
Yeah.
for those that are afraid of the future, you're not alone.
mm-hmm.
I'm also kind of afraid of the future,
Yeah.
but not as afraid as Chichaks. Yeah.
No, that's
for
my
sure.
greatest fear. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Adam, what about you?
Yeah.
What scares you the most?
I love lizards. Like this is so
You freak! You monster!
they're so cute.
You are officially the scariest monster in Ghostlore now for me. It's like Ghostlore suddenly got more chichat sounds coming out.
Yeah, for that question, I don't know.
So what are you afraid of the
I'm
most?
pretty like optimistic. I'm like
No, like what are you
Yeah.
afraid of the most? Like it can be the most randomest thing. Like I'm afraid of waterfalls and Chichaks.
oh yeah, I'm afraid of needles. I guess I have phobia of needles.
So
Yeah, okay.
But apart from that, yeah.
so how do you get injections or like blood? Like if you like need to get a check for blood.
Now I think I'm better with it, but when I was younger, oh my goodness, last time the BCG.
Oh my god, yeah.
I was like, my parents had dragged me like kicking and screaming and crying to it, and like, oh. And we were the last batch too, because after that they were like, oh no, this is not effective at all. And then they stopped it.
Oh man. Which is weird for me to say this out loud, considering that people can actually see my tattoos, but I somewhat understand. Cause hear me out, because like I had like an appendicitis when I was like 12 or 13, and it was really difficult for the doctor to like find my vein to do like a test and everything like that. So like just step like 5-6 times, and I was like
Training for tattoo.
yeah, and that's probably why I ended up getting tattoos because I got stabbed by a needle so many
Dude,
times.
I love going for like medical examinations.
You sick freak, you
No, whenever they need to draw blood, right? Then the nurse will be like, "Are you?" I don't know why, right? It's really weird. They always ask you, "Are you afraid of needles?" Then I always say yes. Then they will look at my tattoo. They'll be like, "Really?" I'm like,
No, lah,
"You don't get the joke? Do you not get the joke?"
No, they probably ask us. They if you say yes, they take out the bigger one, lah.
Oh yeah.
They do?
Don't laugh. I would never go back to that hospital, man.
You are triggering him.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
For record, I think we're all gonna die from AIs as well. So AIs are gonna kill everyone.
Oh man.
I mean, for those who because you guys can see, he's wearing a SpaceX shirt, and Elon Musk is actually quite against AI, right?
Same.
Yeah, so I do agree. I do agree. I'm pretty sure you're gonna end up like some James Cameron movie.
Adam,
Terminator.
Adam, just so you know, for the next 3 times that I meet him, right now he's just not gonna stop talking about AIs again. Every time.
No, isn't it a bit funny? I mean, the whole idea of ghosts and spirits and the afterlife, and then suddenly about AI. Sometimes I feel that way, Like, for example, I get a comment coming to me and says that, oh, the Hantu Raya, right, from far away, it doesn't seem to be really attacking me, even though I'm attacking it, but it doesn't seem to come closer to try and engage. And I say, oh, something wrong with the AI, It just feels so weird sometimes, to have these two talking about these two things.
Because
these very ancient kind of like spiritual beliefs, and then at the same time, oh, something wrong with the AI,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
will never
It
you will
feels
never
weird,
blend together. You never foresee a world together.
I
with
don't
both
know.
of them, right?
Well, okay, not in that sense, but I almost feel like, it's almost like the AI, granted it was never alive, but it's almost like, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, it's the ghost in the machine in that way. So I do see like the weird parallels down there. Yeah.
Actually, it's a bit funny because right, our game relies quite heavily on procedural generation,
Yeah.
which means that what it means is that I actually don't design the level myself. The game will actually randomly generate a level at a time, so every playthrough is different.
Yeah.
So the thing is that one of the things that Adam does, right, is that he would ask me, right, how okay, if I do this, how would I approach it? How would I design it? How would I make the choices that I make? The design decisions that I make.
Yeah.
What's behind it and how, that kind of thing. And so it's quite interesting because Adam is trying to sort of he's trying to program an algorithm that basically decide things the way that I would. So
So there's an AI, Andrew in the game, lah.
maybe that's his plan, lah.
Be a robot AI.
Once he can sort of like map out and completely figure out, okay, this is how Andrew decides things, he just replace me with like an AI copy,
It's somewhat creepy how you were just smiling to yourself for a while before you're like, oh yeah, yes, what a funny joke, Andrew.
You'll be the guy. You'll be known as the guy who created Frankenstein, right?
Yeah, but AI Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is the monster.
Yeah.
Frankenstein is the doctor.
Not the doctor. I got that wrong.
I mean, at this point in time, everybody's kind of interchange.
Yeah. So you created that AI as the monster, and then you start killing us all. But I would love to see a conversation between an AI and a spirit.
Are you suggesting that the Robo Apocalypse is brought about by an AI based on Andrew?
Based on the game lah.
Okay.
Based on the game, whatever's powering the game underneath, right? I think that will be quite poetic. We will all become ghosts because of Ghostlore. And with that, that's ended.
With that, yes. Okay. We'll no, hang on. We don't highlight that one yet. We'll get to that one in a bit. But first, Andrew, Adam. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Wonderful evening.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
it was
us.
so fun.
I love it when guests always go on weird tangents with us, and beautiful tangents we had today.
Yep.
One more time for everybody out there, could you let us know when Ghostlore will be coming out?
July 22.
July 2022,
Yeah.
and available on Steam and
Available on Steam. Yeah, just just wishlist if you can, I guess.
yeah. Is there any social media that anybody can follow to get updates?
We have a Facebook and a Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's, what was it, Ghostlore?
It's Ghostlore_game
Yes.
for the Twitter, and the Facebook is Ghostlore game, no underscore.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll link them.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you very much.
No worries, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Can we? What was the? Sorry.
Especially for the beer.
Okay. Awesome. We got more.
So believe me, he was just as happy as you are.
Exactly. So Rex Pond
Rex
92
Pond 92 says
that it'll be sad that I won't be able to listen to Ghostmap for a few months, but I understand you guys do need a break. Please come back soon and upload more videos, even though I know it's hard. It is very hard.
It is very hard.
Yeah, as indie creators, but we'll do our best. And meantime, feel free to listen to our compilations or our previous episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, we wanted to just in case anybody missed this at the start. This episode of Dead Air and the
Previous episode.
the
of
most
Ghost-
the most recent episode of Ghost Maps will be our last episodes until March 2022.
Yeah. We're on a season break.
We're on a season break now. Well deserved, if I do say so myself.
Very well deserved.
But again, thank you everybody for the support that you've given us. Thank you for allowing us enough success that we actually are able to take a break. I think the fact that we reached a point in time where we can afford to take a break,
Exactly.
I think that says a lot about how wonderful our fans are. So
Yeah,
thank you
but-
so much.
But keep listening, keep the numbers up, and we'll come back as soon as we can.
Yeah.
And for the one thing that Wayne promised you guys,
Wait, we both promised.
yeah, but you milked it, right?
Which one are we talking about? We promised a few things.
The location.
Oh, yes.
So, the location of the Ghost Maps HQ studio,
And we're only saying this now because we're moving
out.
We're moving out of the
We're
studio.
moving out, but it's located in
Wait.
one of the most haunted office locations in Singapore, Golden Mile Complex
Tower, right?
Tower.
Tower.
But I wanted to mislead them lah. Walao eh.
Well, you should have planned in advance with me then.
But it's okay. Yeah, Golden Mile
Yes.
Tower basically.
Yeah.
We won't be there when you try to find us. We'll be
Yes,
gone.
we'll be moving out quite soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Golden Mile Tower, which is just right opposite to Golden Mile Complex, which both are very haunted. And there were a few incidents that happened in this studio and surrounding studios also. So yeah.
So, to all our listeners out there, when Kyle says that he gets freaked out when he's editing episodes of Ghost Maps at night, he's editing them here. So now you understand why he's so freaked out. All right. So shall we wrap it up?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. While we are on a break until March 2022, you can still check out all our episodes of Ghost Maps on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and all major platforms. Once we're back in March, new episodes will, as always, go online every second and fourth Thursday of the month. To make sure you never miss an episode once we're back, you can subscribe now and follow us on social media at We Are HANTU. That's one word, WeareHantu. If you would like to share your own stories that could inspire future episodes of Ghost Maps, you can reach us through the contact form on hantu.sg or message us directly through Facebook and Instagram. You can also buy our official merchandise like t-shirts, tote bags, masks on Redbubble. Or be one of our supporters on Patreon. Search for We Are HANTU. Again, that's one word, WeareHantu. And for the last time for 2021 and all the way until March 2022, Carl, let's do our sign off. 1, 2, 3. And remember, just because there's stories, it doesn't mean they're not true.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ghostlore. Good
Thank you,
night.
Ghostlore. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.